Hi crafters, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G, and today we are going to create an easel card with a twist. And I hope you like this. Whether you are a seasoned crafter, you've been doing it a long time, or you're just a beginner, I hope that you're a little bit inspired by this really cool fun fold. So let's head down to the crafting table and let me show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what your typical book card looks like, right? Now look at, we've turned this book card into a easel card. It twists and it stands up. I'm going to show you this design a little bit later, so make sure that you stay with us. But let's get to creating this twisted easel card. The first thing you need to do is grab your favorite cardstock, and let's go ahead and cut it at 4 1/4, and we're going to leave the other side at 11. Now the next thing we need to do, we want to add some score lines. And we are so excited to offer you this tutorial today on our Technique Tuesday, because on Technique Tuesday, we're all about different techniques. So now let's turn this on the long side and let's go ahead and give us some score lines. And our score lines are going to be at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. Now, you could take this moment to go ahead and score this piece of cardstock exactly the same way, and that way you can make 2 of these really neat twisted easel cards. But what we need to do now is we have 2 score lines right here you can see. We have a larger area on this side, and we have the 4 1/4 on this side. Well, I want you to go ahead and flip it over to where your 4 1/4 is on the right hand side. And now we are just going to make a diagonal score line from the bottom of this score line to the top of this area, this square. This actually comes out to be a 4 by 4. So let's go ahead and do that. So the bottom of your 4 by 4 square to the top of it, to the top right hand side. And so here we have it. So now we can just put this up for just a little while. Let's go ahead and score this. And we can kind of see how everything is going to fall into place. So grab your glue, grab your silicone mat so that we don't get glue on our table space. And let's just add some glue right here on this little column because we want this area closed. We're just going to give this a good push so it can really seal. And now look at what happens. That's your easel, right? We are going to decorate this front panel, and we're going to leave this one empty. So to do that, you need to go ahead and have a 4-inch square. Now, let me show you what I have done. I have cut a 4-inch square of some beautiful gold paper, and then I used this beautiful paper, and I cut it 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 because I want just a little bit of this gold to show. Now, because we're all about techniques, we don't want to waste this inside of our mat, right? So we're going to go ahead and use a punch and punch out an image. And I'm just going to go ahead and use an older punch. And I'm going to save those for later for another card because they are so beautiful. And now we don't feel so guilty, right, when we cover this up. So let's just go ahead and glue this mat down over our gold mat. You want to make sure that you don't have glue here. And you also want to make sure that when we lay this down right here, that you cannot see what you punched out on the back. So let's see if we can see that. And we can just a little bit. So you can put another mat here or some scrap paper that you have. And I happen to have just a piece of scrap paper, so let's go ahead and lay it down just right here. That way you won't see what you cut out. Okay. And now we are ready to lay this down. So you want to leave a border. This is Night of Navy cardstock, and I want to leave a border around there, so we need to go ahead and get it lined up just like that. Now, instead of putting my glue on this bottom half right here, I'm going to put it on my actual card, and I'm going to leave a border around it. Just going to line this up. Now, this is where you want to pay attention. If you have directional paper, you want to make sure that you don't lay it down the wrong way. So we're just going to get that just right there. Now look at that. See how it lays right there, and you just fold it up. It just twists up. It is so pretty. And then whatever you decide to put right here on this mat, it's really going to be a focal point because it's going to sit on their desk or on their mantle. So we have decided to go ahead and use this gold paper again, these dies that come with this stamp set, and this embossing folder. Now, what's so great about this embossing folder is you put the dies in there and it cuts and embosses at the same time. Now let me show you what I mean. We're going to go ahead and open this up, and I went ahead and I ran it through the embossing machine, but you just line it up just like this, and it grabs so you don't have to worry about falling off. And then you put your paper in, and look at this. They pop right out. Just beautiful. Now, something else you want to do is you want to go ahead and add, if you used dark cardstock, a light cardstock so that they can write right here. So I went ahead and picked up some very vanilla, and I'm going to go ahead and just lay that down. This is one of those cards that looks a little complicated, but it's not. So when the recipient gets it, they're going to think you spent a lot of time on it. Now, you may have spent a lot of time on the design, but not on actually creating it, because it's really very easy to create. Now, we just need to decide if we want to go ahead and layer these stars a little bit with some dimensionals, kind of set them up on each other. And I think I do. So I'm going to bring in the dimensionals. I'm going to bring in some small ones and some larger ones. And let's just get this laid down. I'm going to take the backing off, and I'm going to lay the first one down, Just set it right up. And right there, it's already so beautiful. Look at that. You can see that it's set up. But let's go ahead and put the other one on top and see what it looks like. Now I think I'm just going to put one dimensional there. Let's see what this looks like. Just beautiful. Look at that. So pretty. We have 3 layers. We're going to move this to the side because we have one area that we probably want to go ahead and put some DSP. Now you cut your strip right here 1 by 4, and I think I'm going to use some coordinating cardstock. Look at that. That also has the gold on it. So pretty. So let's just go ahead and cut a strip of 1 by 4. And now we're just going to lay this down right there on that part that we had glued down before. The possibilities on using this technique, this tutorial, are just limitless. Now, and remember to stay with this because I'm going to discuss the one that I showed you earlier, but I have another one to show you as well. So now we have this. We need to decorate the front, and I'm just going to attach that beautiful star right to the front. And I think I'll put it up just a little bit because I have stamped this beautiful message. Look at that. Celebrating the magic of the season. And I'm going to put it just right here. So I need to have, I'm going to set my star up just a little bit. Oh, that's going to be gorgeous. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Let's add some dimensionals to the back of this star. Let's just set this right down in the middle. Now look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. But we're not done yet because we need to add our little stopper right here. And there's lots of things you could add. You could add circles, ovals. But what I've decided to do is I went ahead and I cut 2 squares out. And I'm going to glue these 2 squares together. Now they match the cardstock that I put right here. So let's get those glued together and I'm going to show you how I'm going to create a stopper. And I just glued 2 of them together because I wanted to make it a little bit stronger. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to cut it diagonally. So I'm just going to put the points right at the top, right at the bottom, get it lined up, and slice. And now I'm going to take some strips. You might have longer dimensional strips. I'm going to put some strips right here on the 3 sides just to raise it just a little bit and create my stopper. You can add dimensionals that are round, square. I just happen to have these strips. I'm going to take the backing off. And I'm just going to add it exactly in the right-hand corner, right there on the bottom, right against the edge of my paper. And now, look at that. It created a little stopper and it stops it perfectly. You open it up, you have plenty of room to write your message, and you have your stopper that kind of blends in. So they might even look and wonder, well, where's the stopper? Well, how are you stopping it, right? Because it just blends in. Look how beautiful that is. And the key part is to remember not to attach this mat to this one because you want it to flip up. So remember I said I had some additional ones to show you. Let me show you those. Let's go over this one. Look at that beautiful group of images that I put. I put some corn and leaves and some pears. I used this beautiful DSP that has some gold, has some bronze in it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is so pretty. And then I used this DSP, this patterned paper that is sparkly and it has some bronze in it. And then I just added some mats. I added them up on dimensionals. You open it up just like a regular storybook card, except it becomes an easel and it's twisted. And look what I used for the stopper. I cut out some more pears and added them on dimensionals. Look at that. And then I just added my message right up here. I put a little border on this side. So that's another technique just to add some interest to your card. But I really like it. These pears right here. I think that really adds some interest. Okay, so we have these two. And now finally, I want to show you this one. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at this beautiful paper. It just really makes you think about a snowy scene, right? We added some ribbon right here and we double matted it. We matted it in white and then we used our pattern paper. And we added this ribbon because it kind of looks like snow just a little bit. Look at that. Looks like it's snowing on the card. We added these leaves, this beautiful saying, and added some rhinestones right here to add some sparkle to those leaves. And then you open it up, you have plenty of room to write. And once again, we did that little trick to create a stopper that just, isn't in your face and it's just very elegant. And there we have our 3 cards. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set these down. I would love it if you would take a moment and leave us a comment. Which is your favorite? This beautiful star that is just so elegant. Oh my goodness. This one reminds us of a wintry day. And this one is kind of like, hey, we have a cornucopia on this card and we have some pears right there. So Monty and I would love to know which is your favorite. Do you like this technique? We think it is just so much fun. This fun fold is really creative, adds a twist. We hope you liked it. So did you see that transition? I even used a twisted transition to match our card. Well, I just appreciate you so much watching this video. If you were inspired, if you'd take a moment and give us a thumbs up, share, and like, Monty and I would so appreciate it. Well, listen, go out, make it a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.